Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to this fun and creative Vinyasa yoga flow. Today we're going to have some fun on the mat while also building some strength and flexibility within our bodies. So we're going to start at the back of the mat today in a child's pose, and once you arrive there, just begin to settle here and ground into the space. Focus on your breathing. Deep inhales in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. And now we're going to come out of child's pose, so gently bring your head up and walk your hands back towards your knees. From here, we are going to do some side body stretches. So you're going to take your left hand, place it over to the left, and stretch your right arm up and over, getting a nice stretch in that right side body. And now we're going to stretch over to the right, placing the right hand on the ground and reaching our left arm up and over, stretching out the left side of the body. And from here, circle your left arm over and around to the left side, planting your hand on the ground, and reach your right arm up and over. And this time, press your hips up, coming into a little back bend. And we're going to repeat that on the other side. So round your spine, circle over to the right side, planting your right hand on the ground, reaching that left arm up and over, and pressing your hips up. And we're going to repeat that on both sides. So round over to the left side, pressing your hips up and raising your right arm up and over. And now round over to the right side, painting the mat with your hands, placing your right hand on the ground, lifting the hips up, reaching the left arm up and over. And now lower down, sitting back on your heels. And from here, we're going to shift into tabletop position. So come forward onto all fours. And now we're going to do some cat-cows. So inhale, arch the spine and look up. And exhale, round your spine. Inhale, arching the spine and looking up. And exhale, rounding the spine, gaze towards the belly button. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the spine, gaze towards the belly button. And now come to a neutral spine. And from here, we're going to do some spinal waves. So on an inhale, begin to round your spine forward, coming into upward facing dog, but with the thighs on the mat. And exhale, go back into child's pose with the spine arched. Inhale, round forward, coming into upward facing dog. Exhale, arching the spine, coming back into child's pose. Inhale, rounding forward. Exhale, coming back to child's pose. Inhale, round forward to upward facing dog. And exhale, come back to child's pose. And as you come back up, return to a neutral spine, coming into tabletop position. And from here, shift forward and lower yourself down with your chin and chest touching the mat. Inhale, pull yourself up and through into cobra. And exhale, lower down. From here, we're going to come into salabhasana, locust pose. So interlace your hands behind you and push your chest out and lift your legs up and hold here for a few breaths. Remember to breathe in this pose. And now you can release your bind, release the legs down. And now bring your hands in line with your shoulders and push yourself up into upward facing dog. Thighs lift off the mat and shift back into downward facing dog. Our first downward dog of the practice, so you can pedal out the feet, stretching out your calves here. And now lift your right leg up in the air, coming into three-legged dog, and bend into your right knee, opening up that hip. And now bring that knee into your chest and place it onto the mat. And from here, you're going to pivot on your knee so that your right foot is facing the right side of the mat. You're going to place your right arm down and reach your left arm over, keeping the left leg straight. And now push yourself up and place your left hand on your left leg, stretching your right arm up and over. And now place your right hand back on the mat, reaching your left arm up and over. And now you're going to lift your left leg up off the mat, bend into your left knee, reaching your left arm back and grabbing your left foot with your hand. Kick into the palm of your hand with that foot to create a deeper back bend. And now you can gently let go of that bind, bringing your left foot back onto the mat. And now with both hands, frame that right knee. Push off of your left foot, bringing your right knee into your chest. Bringing it back up into three-legged dog. Bend into that knee again, and from here, step back behind you, coming into wild thing. Using the strength of your legs to push yourself up, taking a few deep breaths here. And now you can lower the hips, come through plank, and shift back to downward facing dog. We're going to repeat that on the other side. So lift your left leg in the air, three-legged dog, bend into that left knee, and bring your knee into your chest, placing your left knee on the mat, and pivoting so that your foot is facing the left side of your mat, reaching your right arm up and over and keeping the right leg extended here. And now use your core to bring yourself up. Place your right hand on your right leg, lifting your left arm up and over. And now using your core strength again, bring your left hand to the mat, right arm reaches over. And now lift your right leg up off the mat, bend into that right knee, reach your right arm back, grabbing your foot, and kick into your hand to get a deeper stretch in your right shoulder. And from here, you can mindfully let go of that bind, bringing your right foot back onto the mat, framing your left knee with your hands, and bringing that left knee into your chest. Lift it back up into three-legged dog, and bend into your knee once more. And from here, you can come back, stepping your foot back behind you, pushing up into wild thing. To come out of this pose, lower your hips and come through plank and shift back to downward facing dog. Now you're going to bend your knees and step to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, bringing your hands up over your head. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into plank. We're going to do a modified chaturanga here. So bring your knees to the mat, lower down, chest, chin, push up and through to cobra. Lower down once more, and push yourself into upward facing dog, thighs off the mat, shifting back to downward facing dog. And now come forward into high plank. And from here, shift your weight onto your left arm, opening your right arm up, coming into a side plank on the left side. And you can either stay here or come into this side plank variation, bending into the right knee, bringing the sole of your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. And you can stay right here, or you can step that right foot behind you, pushing up, coming into wild thing again. And from here, we're going to transition to our side plank again. So begin to lower the hips and bring the right foot to your inner left thigh if that's accessible for you. And now you're going to begin to bring that right foot to the top of the mat, pivot on your left foot, windmill the arms, coming into warrior two. Inhale, flip the right palm, reach out. Exhale, come back into reverse warrior. And now windmill your arms to frame your right foot and find stability in your left leg as you bring your right knee into your chest and up to three-legged dog. From here, you're going to bring your right knee to your left elbow, and you can either stay there or kick that foot out, coming into fallen star. Take a deep breath here. And circle your left arm around and down and ground into the left leg as you bring your right knee back into your chest and lift it back up in the air, three-legged dog. Come forward into three-legged plank, lower down chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And now we're going to repeat that little sequence on the other side. So on an inhale, round forward into your plank. And shift your weight onto your right hand as you open your left arm and come into a side plank on the right side. And again, you can either stay here or you can bend into your left leg, bringing the sole of that foot to your right inner thigh, coming into this side plank variation. And you can either stay there or step your left foot back, pressing the hips up, coming into wild thing, opening up the chest. And we're going to do that little fun transition into warrior two. So come back through side plank, bringing the left sole of your foot to your right inner thigh. And step that left foot up to the top of your mat. Pivot on your right foot, windmill the arms, and come into warrior two on this side. Inhale, flip the left palm. Exhale, reach up and over, coming into reverse warrior. And now windmill the arms around and down to frame your left foot. Bring that left knee into your chest. Pick it back up to three-legged dog. And bring your left knee to your right elbow. And you can either stay there or kick the left foot out and come into fallen star, pressing the hips up here as well. And to come out of this pose, gently lower the hips and bring the right hand to the top of the mat. Bring your left knee into your chest and kick it up into three-legged dog. And round forward here to three-legged plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Just catch your breath here in downward facing dog. We're going to repeat that sequence again, but we're going to build on it and add more to it. And we're also going to speed up the pace just a little bit. So from here, round forward into your plank and shift your weight onto your left hand, opening your right arm up, coming into side plank. And now bring the sole of your right foot to your left inner thigh here, bending that knee, and step back again to Wild Thing, pressing up through the hips, opening up the chest. Now to transition to Warrior 2 again, lower the hips and come back to that side plank variation, and step that right foot to the top of the mat, pivot on the left foot, windmill the arms, opening up to Warrior 2. Inhale, flip the right palm, exhale, reach that arm back and come into Reverse Warrior. And now instead of windmilling the arms down, begin to bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot, reaching the left arm up and over, coming into side angle pose. And from here, we're going to transition into half moon. So bring your right hand to the top of the mat as you push off of your right leg and extend the left leg, stacking the hips, opening up to the left side. Keep your balance here. And now you're going to slowly begin to bend into your right knee as you lower your left foot back onto the mat. And now as you straighten your right leg, reach your right arm up and over, coming into reverse triangle with the right foot flexed. And now you're going to pivot that right foot in front of you as you lower down into Prasarita Pada Tadasana, our wide-legged forward fold, folding over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk your hands over to the left, bending into the left knee, coming into Skandasana, side lunge. And walk your hands over to the right, bending into the right knee, straightening the left leg, side lunge on this side. Walk the hands back over to the left, Skandasana. And walk your hands back over to the right, bending into that right knee. This time, as you walk your hands over to the left, you're going to begin to frame your left foot facing your left knee to the back of the mat, coming into a low lunge here. And then bring your left knee into your chest, lift that left leg up into three-legged dog, and bring that left knee into your chest again, step it to the top of the mat, reach your arms up, coming into high lunge. Now sweep your left arm behind you and twist your body open to the left. And now you're going to sweep that left arm under and up, coming to a high lunge again, and hinge forward from here, reaching your arms back behind you. We're going to prepare for Warrior 3, so you can bend into your right leg, push off with your left, extending your right leg. Find a still focal point on the ground to help you with this balancing pose, and if you fall out, that's completely okay. And now you can begin to bring your hands into prayer at your chest and start to bend into your left knee as well as your right knee, bringing your right knee to the outside of your left foot as you come to sit in a seated twist. I know that transition can seem a little confusing, but as long as you meet us here in seated twist, then you're doing amazing. And as always, we will do that again on the other side. But you can hook your right arm around your left knee here to get a deep stretch in your hip as well as a spinal twist. And remember to breathe deeply here in this twist. And now from here, bring both of your hands to the top of the mat and come up on your right knee, keeping your left foot on the mat. And we're going to come into half splits here, so extend that right leg back as you straighten your left leg here. And remember to keep the hips squared. And bend that right knee, meeting your right foot with your left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into plank. Shift forward, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift your left leg up in the air and bring your left knee into your chest, coming into a low lunge at the top of the mat. And pivot both of your feet facing the right and come into Prasarita Padottanasana once more. And now walk your hands over to your right leg, framing your right foot, coming into a low lunge here. And bring that right knee into your chest and shift back into downward facing dog. We're going to repeat that whole sequence once more on the other side. So begin to round forward into your high plank and shift your weight onto your right arm, opening your left arm out to the side, coming into a side plank. And you can either stay here or take the variation that we've previously been taking. And now you can gently step the left foot back behind you, press the hips up, open the chest, wild thing. And now we're going to do that fun little transition into warrior two again. So slightly lower your hips, come back into that side plank variation, and step your left foot to the top of the mat, pivot on your right foot, windmill the arms, come into warrior two one last time. And now flip open the left palm and reach up and over, transitioning into reverse warrior. And now bring that left hand to the inside of your left foot, reach your right arm up and over, coming into side angle pose. And to transition into half moon, bring your left hand to the top of the mat, straighten your left leg, and extend your right leg, squaring the hips, opening the chest to the right. And from here, slowly bend into your left knee and bring your right foot back onto the mat as you reach your left arm up and over and flex your left foot, coming into reverse triangle. Now pivot your left foot forward and fold in between the legs, coming into wide-legged forward fold. On an inhale, halfway lift, and walk your hands over to the right leg as you bend into that right knee, straightening the left leg, coming into Skandasana on this side. And now walk your hands over to the left, bending into the left knee, flexing that right foot, straightening the right leg. And walk them back over to the right, coming into Skandasana again. And walk your hands over to the left, coming into a side lunge on the left knee. And now as you walk your hands over to the right, bring your hands to frame your right foot, coming into a low lunge. And then bring that right knee into your chest, kick it up in the air, three-legged dog. Bring that right knee into your chest again, step it to the top of the mat, reach your arms up above your head, coming into high lunge. And now sweep the right arm behind you, twisting open to the right, transitioning into twisted lunge. Now you can sweep that right arm back under and up, returning to our high lunge, and hinge forward from here, reaching your arms back behind you, and you can begin to take off into warrior three, pressing into your right leg, extending your left leg back behind you, balancing here. From here, bring your hands in prayer in front of your heart and slowly bend into your right knee as you bring your left knee to the outside of your right foot. It's okay if you slip up here, I did too. And bring your hands to the mat as you come into a seated twist. You can hook your left arm around your right knee to get a deeper stretch in that left hip, and twist open here and breathe. And to come out of this, You're going to place both of your hands to the top of the mat, come up onto your left knee, and lift that left leg up behind you, pushing into your right leg, coming into half splits here. And now bring your left foot to meet your right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, hands overhead. And exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into plank. Shift forward, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift your right leg up. And exhale, bring your right foot to the top of the mat, coming into low lunge here. And then shift into wide-legged forward fold. And now walk your hands to the top of the mat, framing your left foot, and bring that left foot to meet your right, shifting back into downward facing dog. You can either stay here in downward facing dog or take one last vinyasa. So if you're doing that, then shift forward into plank, chaturanga, inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. And now you're going to bend your knees, place them onto the mat, and shift back into child's pose with the arms behind you, coming into a little ball here. We are now done with that sequence, so just take a moment here to catch your breath, slow down the heart rate a little bit, and just relax. To come out of child's pose, slowly lift your head up and shift your legs to the side and bring them out in front of you, preparing for Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. To come into this pose, reach your arms up over your head and bring them forward, grabbing onto either the feet or the ankles or placing them on the mat, whatever works best for your body. On an inhale, lift your head up and begin to bring your feet to the mat with the knees up. And from here, we're going to slowly lower down onto our backs. So reach your arms in front of you and use the strength of your core to slowly lower down. There's no rush here. Take your time. And once you arrive here laying down on the mat, keep your feet on the floor and your knees facing up. We're going to prepare for our bridge pose. So slowly lift your hips up here and roll the shoulders underneath you. And you can either keep the hands as is or interlace them underneath you. Pressing the hips up, breathing deeply here. And if you took that bind, slowly release your hands and lower your hips down. And from here, we're going to come into wheel pose. If wheel is not in your practice, then feel free to just take that bridge pose once again. But to come into wheel, lift your hips up, coming through bridge again, and you can stay here if you're not practicing wheel pose. But if you are, place your hands near both sides of your head with your fingertips facing the top of the mat and push yourself up into wheel. You can keep the legs bent here, or you can also begin to straighten them. This is a big back bend and chest opener, so just make sure that you're still breathing mindfully here. And to come out of wheel, gently bend your arms and slowly lower yourself down, rounding and rolling your spine onto the mat. As you lower down, keep your feet on the mat and your knees bent. And now lift your right leg up in the air and place your right ankle on top of your left thigh. And you can stay there, or you can bring your left thigh closer to you to get a deep stretch in that right hip. If you're holding on to the back of your left thigh, you can let go and bring your right foot back onto the mat to meet your left. And now raise your left leg in the air and place your left ankle on top of your right thigh. Again, you can either stay here or grab onto the back of your right thigh, bringing that knee close to you, stretching the outside of your left hip. And now let go of your right leg, placing both of your feet onto the mat. You can take any last poses here before we come into Shavasana, but if you're ready, straighten both of your legs, placing your feet at the end of your mat, hands by your sides with the palms facing up. And breathe deeply here, allowing everything we did on the mat to settle in the body, allowing all the energy to settle as you return to stillness. If you would like to stay here in Shavasana for longer, then please feel free to pause the video and do so. But if you're ready to come out, begin to make small movements with the body, touching your fingertips, moving your head side to side, and slowly come into fetal position on whichever side feels best for you. And from here, you can begin to push yourself up, and we'll meet in a cross-legged position on the mat. And all together on an inhale, raise your arms up over your head, and exhale, bring the hands to the heart. We'll do that again. Inhale, raise your arms up over your head, and exhale, hands to heart. Thank you so much for showing up and practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed this yoga flow and that it ignited some creative energy within you. Sending love to you all, and I'll see you in a video soon. Bye.